everybody. We're here with the Bear Cave. I'm here with Dr. McMullen today. Excited to have you on the podcast. You and I got to start here at AISC together.
We did.
So we got to go through all the fun stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an awesome relationship with my wife, too. So you guys get to hang out every day.
Yeah, we get to spend a lot of time together.
All day, every day, which is awesome. Sometimes for good reasons, sometimes for tougher reasons. But hey, I know that she appreciates you and all the work that you do. So you're pretty awesome.
Yeah, thanks. She is too. And so are you.
She's pretty fun. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I'd like to ask everybody kind of what the journey to getting here was for you. So you have been teaching internationally for a while. Yeah,
this is year 12.
Amazing.
Overseas. Yeah.
So where all has that taken you? Where did you start? And then what brought you to AISC?
Yeah.
I know that's kind of like a big loaded question, but
totally.
Hey, it's good to talk about.
Yeah, so I used to swear to my parents that I was never going to go into education.
Really?
So both of my parents are professors. My sister is a teacher. My sister-in-law is a teacher. My brother-in-law is a teacher.
So it's
everyone,
you're gonna be a teacher.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
So when I went to university, I was an archaeology major.
Really?
And so because my parents were professors, you go to school for your undergrad and you study something that you're interested in, not necessarily what you're going to do with your life.
For sure.
So when I finished my undergrad, I went and spent some time in Ecuador working at an archaeological site on the coast.
Very cool.
And it was super fun, but also this is not what I want to do with my life.
Sure. Yeah.
So I came back to the States and told my parents that I wanted to do a 5th-year program to get my teaching certification.
Sweet.
And they laughed and they were like, "Oh, we told you
got
so."
You fell into our trap.
Yep. So I did a program in Washington to get certified, and then I got a teaching job in Washington State. I was there for 15 years.
What were you teaching?
I was a literacy specialist.
Oh, cool.
So I started out in a small town on the border with Canada called Blaine, working with middle school. And I got sick of the commute because it was over an hour in the car each way. James and I moved to a different town in Washington, and I got hired as a 3rd grade teacher.
Amazing.
Which I almost burst into tears on the first day because they were so little, and everything that I planned for the first day took a month to get through.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's a completely different, teaching different grade levels at all is it can be a pain, but going from little kids when you're used to maybe working with high schoolers or upper school kids. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No. So I did that for a year, and then they needed a new literacy specialist in the elementary. So I did that K-6 for a while. Loved it. Really enjoyed kindergarten when I only had 2 of them. But a classroom scares me.
Parent of a 4-year-old. I get that.
Yeah.
That's chaos.
And then I woke up one morning to a text from a friend of mine that I used to teach with in Washington who had moved to Singapore. And they were like, "Hey, do you want to move to Singapore?" And this was May.
Okay.
For the next school year.
Wow.
And I was super itchy in my job. I needed something new. I just finished my master's. I was like, sure. So within 48 hours, I had signed a contract.
Oh my God.
Because there was kind of a principal went missing in the middle of the night.
Oh no.
And so they moved someone that they'd hired to teach grade 6 ELA. So the person that they had hired for that also had an admin degree. And so they bumped him into that position and had a last minute 6th grade.
Sweet.
So they were desperate. And so we moved to Singapore, and it was just going to be a 2-year thing.
Yeah.
We were there for 8.
Wow.
I got my doctorate in educational leadership while I was there.
Sure.
And so when I finished that, I needed to move into a different kind of role.
Yeah.
I was an instructional coach when I left Singapore, but ended up in Beirut for about a year and a half. That was crazy.
You've told me about this, and it just seems like it was turbulent.
Yes, turbulent is a great word for it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was very turbulent. So once I was hired here, so obviously early on I was like, hey, I'm not going to be here for more than 2 years. So I started, I opened up my search account again.
Sure.
And started looking into that and got a couple of offers in China and was like, I don't really want to go to China. And then became a finalist for AISZ and got the job as an assistant principal.
Whoop, whoop.
So whoop, whoop.
That's awesome. Yeah. And next year you will be
the principal.
The principal, which is awesome. I'm so excited
terrifying.
about that. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
I'm
very
be
excited.
So great at it.
Yeah, thanks.
So did you have any like teachers throughout? Was it hard having parents as teachers?
Yes and no.
They were
so
professors.
Professors.
Yeah.
My mom taught at the high school that I went to when my sister was in high school.
Oh, okay.
She actually had my mom as her English teacher, which sounded awful.
Yeah.
By the time I got there, my mom was a professor. And so all of my teachers knew my parents.
Sure.
They'd all had them like at some point in university.
Yeah.
And so I think there was an advantage to it in that I got away with everything because like I was Ruth and Warren's daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
But
that's funny. I like that dynamic is always fascinating to me because my parents, I mean, were so far removed from education. I mean, like my dad did coaching and things like that, but was never like part of the school system. And so to hear people talk about like, I would go see my mom. Like I'm thinking of my kids coming through school and like, oh, there's my dad, that drama teacher, you know, like it's always wild to me, which is super fun.
We're always the naughty ones.
We're always the naughty ones too. Yeah. Yeah. Rory is definitely going to be that. I love that child, but he is a chaotic little boy.
I love it.
So what is like, okay, so I've got a couple of just random questions in here for you. What does an exciting day look like for you?
Every day is an exciting day.
I know about your exciting days because I see you running around the school a lot, and there are a lot of things that go on as an assistant principal. I'm curious, how much does that change going from assistant principal to principal?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, I think I get a little bit further removed from students as the principal.
How do you feel about that?
So I'm working right now really closely with 9th and 10th grade intentionally while I feel like I have the time.
Sure. Keep a connection with them.
Yep, exactly. And so I'm going to need to be really intentional with how I do that moving forward because it's super important that kids see me as someone that they can come to.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's going to be that'll be a tricky balance, I think. But I don't know that it's going to change all of that much next year because I don't think that in my time here I've really taken on like the assistant principal role anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we have amazing students. The discipline is very minimal. I was breaking up fights all of the time in Beirut.
I'm sure.
So this in comparison, But every day is an exciting day because I have things on my calendar, and so I sort of know what my schedule is when I walk out the door in the morning, but it's never just that.
Yeah. When we were scheduling this, you and I had talked about this just a little bit ago. Like I was like, oh my God, like am I going to like totally bombard you by trying to schedule you in for this chunk of time for the podcast? And you're like, no, that's a pretty light day for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my.
I had like an hour of work time in my office today.
Wow.
That never happened.
Yeah. That'd be like a teacher only getting an hour worth of prep. Like they would bang their head against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's chaotic. Yeah. So, I mean, like what does a typical day to day look like? Is there a typical day to day at all?
There's really not a typical day. I mean, I have scheduled meetings.
Sure.
And I have like the 9th grade SEL block and the 10th grade workshop that are like non-negotiables on my calendar.
Yeah.
But like every Monday in the afternoon, we've got leadership from 1 to 3.
Sure.
So that like there's the meetings that are scattered throughout, and then there's all the other stuff that comes up.
Yeah.
Because when a teacher needs something, they come to my office. When kids need something, they come to my office, and so like it's really important to me to be available for people immediately when they need me.
Yeah.
And then there's the crises that happen, right? And then kids make mistakes. Here, for the most part, they make pretty minor mistakes, and they're super coachable.
Yep.
And it's all about developing a relationship with those kids anyway, so that we can work together to not make the same mistakes again.
Yeah. I've been thoroughly impressed with your work with SEL specifically, and just how that is such a priority for you. And I think what it does is it creates better relationships with you and the kids, and then it also makes them better people,
Yeah.
which is, isn't that our goal, is to just like put good people out into the world?
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. Do you have any specific projects SEL wise that you're working on? SEL, for the people that don't know, social emotional learning. My wife being a school counselor, I get to know all about social emotional learning, and I've had fun working on it too, because I'm one of the grade 6 teachers for the SEL block that we've got.
Nice.
So what sort of projects are you working on with it? Why is it important to you? I mean, I think that's a good talking point that you can expound upon.
Yeah, I've got a handful of projects with it right now, but more to the why. Like, one of our goals is that all students are learning at high levels, something along that line, right?
Yeah.
Students are not going to learn at their highest level if they're not social emotionally well.
Right.
And especially post-pandemic, kids are not okay.
Right.
They have unique challenges that we didn't have, and some of the same challenges too, but so that's a top priority. Relationships are super important to me too, like in my role with teachers, but also with students.
For sure.
And so I think that priority comes out of that. I want kids and people, teachers, to know that I deeply care about them.
Yeah.
And I think, it comes from the relationships in the classrooms too that I had. Like, I didn't have very many good teachers that I felt connected to growing up. Especially in elementary school, more so in middle school, which is interesting that that's the age that I really gravitated toward.
Yeah, fascinating.
And less so again in high school.
Sure.
But so, like the teachers that I'm actually still in touch with one of my high school teachers.
Isn't that funny?
And regularly communicate with a couple of the middle school teachers.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to me. I want kids to feel seen, and to feel like their voices matter. So that's another reason why it's important to me. And then a couple of the projects, like I took on the grade 9 SEL with your wife.
Yes.
And today we did the science of gratitude. And they wrote thank you cards to their teachers. So there were actually some on your desk that I left for you.
Thank you.
And they were so into it. Like several of them, like they just kept asking for more cards to write more and more of them. And I think they left the room feeling really energized after spending some time thinking about who they're grateful for. And so that was cool. And then I'm working, getting ready for next year with a couple of different organizations to figure out a good platform for gathering student data on their well-being so that we can be very intentional with how they respond. So I have a meeting
thing to do.
Yeah.
Like now that there are programs in like the ones that you're doing, but otherwise it feels so abstract.
Yeah.
You're just like, how are you feel? Like it feels like that's what you're doing, is that you're just asking those questions, but there have been some incredible people that are doing some great work on stuff like this, which is awesome.
So just looking for, to replace the curriculum that we currently have for something that feels more authentic and genuine to the students. I really firmly believe in developing our people and not just adopting programs.
Yep.
And so we're taking a step back and, making sure that we're really intentional with what we're choosing to do with that SEL time.
You look at it, you evaluate it, see exactly what's working, what's not working, continue from there, which is great.
And then meeting with multiple companies. Like we've done a couple of pilots of like surveys for students to see what's going to fit our needs.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Because there are so many programs that are doing. I mean, they're all, the goal is always the same, but it's like who says it best, or who has the best program that's running for that. Which is great.
And it's going to depend on the context, right? Like what works in the U.S. isn't going to be right at an international school in Europe. And so how do you be really intentional? Because there's also a lot of garbage out there.
Sure. Yeah. That people like, I'm going to use ChatGPT to create this entire curriculum. I've seen it done. Yeah. I've seen people do it. It's wild. It does. I mean, like that is another element. And you were speaking of like the stress of how the stress is different for us. How the stress is different for our kids than it was for us. Like I look at the amount of screen time that students are having. It's just like absolutely insane. Have you read Anxious Generation?
I have. Yeah.
Haley's starting to read it right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, there are going to be some things in there that you absolutely love and things that you are going to be so appalled by. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much how it works. But yeah, I think the amount of it is so nice. They hate the yonder pouches here, but I tell you, it is like such a night and day difference between having kids. Like for me, it was like behind a choir folder, sneaking their cell phones so that they could be, you know, like constantly on their phones.
They're so addicted.
Yeah.
I love the yonder pouch thing.
Yeah, it really is. Like, and they won't realize how nice it is until they're older, and they'll be like, oh, that was annoying.
Yeah.
But I know why we did it.
But in focus groups with kids, I've even had them say, like, we don't like them, but we know that they're good for us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Take that dopamine hit away from them. Oh, God,
yeah. Develop some relationships.
Yeah.
Talk to humans.
Seriously, go talk to a human. Touch grass.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yep. How are you liking Zagreb?
Love it.
You've had some cool excursions.
Yeah.
And you've been telling me about restaurants specifically that you've enjoyed. Have you had a moment where you're like, oh, Zagreb is the place for me?
Yeah, many. I think every day. Like, what I love about Zagreb is that it's safe like Singapore, but it's got some grit and some character.
Sure.
You know? I don't love the graffiti, but I also like it adds some character to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
A
little pizzazz.
Yeah. Like I loved Beirut.
Sure.
It was a little too spicy for other reasons.
Spicy's a good word for it. Yeah.
So I feel like Zagreb has like the mix of Beirut and Singapore.
Sure.
So
yeah.
And it's small. And
it's
located so close to other things.
Yeah.
So
the whole city is so manageable.
Right.
It's so easy to get around, whether it's public transport or even like taking a taxi from one part of the city to the other. You're there in 20 minutes, which is
one of the
easy.
teachers here told me that it's sleepy and boring. And I was like, well, that's probably my stage in life because I think it's perfect.
Sleepy. It's nice. It's quiet. Like it's not too rambunctious. It's not New York City. Like
Right.
you have experience with New York City.
I do.
You know that's chaotic.
Yeah.
Oh crap, what was I just going to ask you? He's blanking. I had a good one. I had a good quick one that I was excited about. I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day about the brutalism architecture. And that, I think when I first moved here, that was something that, I don't know if it was just like American propaganda that scared me. Like it was something that like made me anxious, seeing like all these like super tall buildings that were all like these apartment complexes that were all the same, and they all have like a lot of stone on the outside and things like that. And I was like, yeah, that right away kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Interesting.
But then now that I've gotten to see the teacher, it was Miss Zaza was telling me about this, and she said, you just look at the transition between like the Austro-Hungarian Empire all the way down into the brutalism architecture and how that change happened. And I'm like, that is a fascinating bit of history that Croatia has, and going through the Yugoslav War and all of that is really, really fascinating. Yeah.
The architecture downtown, like I love where we live. I mean, it's the Austro-Hungarian era, right? And they're just gorgeous buildings.
They're so pretty. Yeah, all those like I love the Opera House. It's beautiful, and I love getting down like onto the square. All of that is beautiful. But even like venturing out a little bit and seeing the cobblestone and seeing the beautiful red roofs and things like that is pretty awesome, which is super fun.
There's a park right by our apartment that we walk the girls in every morning.
Who are the girls, by the way? You should probably talk about them.
Violet and Phoebe, my puppies.
The puppies, they're so cute.
Yeah, they're good girls. And just like the light on the buildings around the square in the morning, it's so beautiful. And seems, I mean, it's just classic European city.
Yeah.
That, like, oh, I get to live here.
Yeah, that's so fun. I saw it when we were, I think it was just me and Lyra when I passed you guys in the car the other day.
Yeah.
And I look in the back seat and there's the puppies just sitting there. I'm like, that's so cute.
Yeah. They like to look out the
babies.
window.
That's amazing.
We saw you this morning too. That was
Did
a wet
you?
ride. Yeah.
Yeah. It was friggin' raining. And it was nasty.
Yeah,
it was not fun, but that's right. This is always a fun question. What is a misconception that people typically have about your role specifically?
That I'm a disciplinarian.
Right?
Yep.
Isn't that always like, you're the bad guy or you're the bad cop or whatever?
Yep. Whenever I step into a classroom for a kid, they're
oh, yeah.
And I think that I'm starting to break that down.
Sure.
Because even when kids are like, quote unquote, in trouble, like they know that it's going to be supportive.
Yeah, for sure.
So that, I'm working really hard on that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's huge. I had to pause so that I could go tell the drummers to pause for a second. We're back to it though. Misconception about your role. You were talking about being a disciplinarian is the common misconception, right? You are not that, because you are developing a relationship with the kids and you're making it so much deeper than you're in trouble.
Right.
Go to the principal's office.
Yeah. I believe firmly in restorative practices, right?
Sure.
Like developmentally, they are going to make mistakes at this age.
Yeah.
None of our students, and this is everywhere, none of them wake up in the morning with the intention of like, how can I piss off the adults in my life today?
Right.
So we have to meet them where they're at and, coach them into knowing where the boundaries are.
Right. Exactly. Make it just a little bit, teaching them what is appropriate and ways to get through that when they're maybe struggling a little bit.
When I was teaching in Singapore, I was teaching 6th grade, and my teaching partner, who joined me the next year, had been teaching high school and then moved down to 6th grade, and she would get super frustrated with them because they're little kids at 6th grade. And her name was Katie also. And I was like, Katie, you've got to think of them as puppies. Like they don't mean to pee on the floor. Nope. They don't mean to chew the cord. Like they're just figuring out like who they are.
And I'm sure a 6th grader has done exactly those two things in a classroom before.
I did have a middle school student intentionally wet his pants when I was teaching in Blaine.
No way.
Yeah.
That is
as
wild.
Like a defiant thing. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, that's more harm for you than it is for me.
Exactly.
But
that's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That is, I have not heard of that before.
Yeah.
Wild. Is there something specifically that you have loved about your job here? Something that you have had a lot of fun with? I think we've already kind of touched on that a little bit.
Yeah, I like everything. I don't know. I'm just super happy in this role. I really like our kids. I really like our faculty.
Yeah.
So it's all is good.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Super fun.
Yeah.
It's a good spot, and people are so kind, and the staff is great, and the students are great, and the city is fun.
Yeah. And
the ability to travel all throughout Europe is also super fun too.
And I think like, especially now that I have kind of intentionally grabbed some times to be with kids, that makes me super happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, we're going to get into some rapid fire questions because I know you have to get off to a meeting, and then we still have an hour of school left.
Yeah.
That'd be great. So rapid fire questions first. This one's kind of fun, I think. What is one unexpected skill that your job has taught you?
How to regulate dysregulated people.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that you have people come in that are just
off.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my biggest learning in Beirut.
Yeah.
Because people are very dysregulated. I mean, living in a war zone,
right.
You're going to. Yeah. And so like learning how to cope with someone who comes in with like steam coming out of their ears and with their pitchfork and like getting them calmed down to talk.
Yeah. How do you get somebody that's at a 10 down to a 3 so that you can have a conversation with them?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Next one. These will be a little quicker, I'm sure.
Okay.
Coffee, tea, or something else entirely?
Tea.
Tea. What kind of tea?
Right now I'm really into this mango green tea that I get from Harissa.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
Milk and sugar?
No.
No. Haley always has honey and milk in hers.
I don't like sweets.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That big old candy bowl that's sitting on my desk is not for me.
Not for you. That's awesome. If your job had a theme song, what would it be?
Yeah, I saw that one. I don't know. I have no idea because I'm not good with songs.
Picking like a vibe from it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to think of one for you.
Yeah.
Something like chaotic in one moment and calming in the next.
Totally.
Probably good. Yeah. We'll figure it out. Anything that you're currently reading or watching?
I'm really into Law and Order SVU right now. I've always loved that show. And I'm watching some of the newer ones. I'm in like season 22 right now.
Why are you and Haley, like, you're both so sweet with kids and like you're so good about like being around people and helping them in traumatic circumstances, and then you're both watching
maybe we get our
shows.
Pointers from there. I don't know.
Right.
One of the things that I love about it though is it's often filmed in my mom's neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. You told me that. That's crazy.
So when I see like parks and like the dead bodies, I'm like, I know where that is.
I know where that dead body is located.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yep.
That's so funny. Not because you want to be on SVU, but because you're excited about it. That's great though.
And then I have some nerdy professional development books that I'm reading right now.
Love nerdy books.
I'm trying to start reading novels, but I just like I always gravitate back to.
Did you ever watch Game of Thrones?
No.
Okay. So my recommendation doesn't matter at all then. You should ask Kaylee though.
Yeah, she's a fantasy kind of sci-fi reader,
she
right?
loves fantasy stuff. I'm more into the sci-fi. She's more into like the high fiction fantasy, which would be like dragons and stuff.
Okay.
She loves dragons and stuff.
I kind of like crime. Hence the Law and Order SVU.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
When I taught English, like every YA book I had read.
Yeah.
I was really good about doing that, but with like adult novels, I haven't been great.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Again, Haley could give you some recommendations. You try it.
Yeah.
Last one is, what is something that instantly makes the school day better?
Being with kids.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it. Great answer.
When I've had like an interaction or something has happened that just hasn't left a good taste in my mouth, I want to go into a classroom and just like see kids.
Yeah. And just like feel that energy that comes from them.
Yep. And like
awesome.
remember like this is why I'm here.
That's great. Any last words or anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to share?
I don't think so. This was fun.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for pushing me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so good to do a podcast and with cool people specifically. So
nice.
Cool. Thanks. You're awesome.
You're awesome too.
Have a great day.
That was fun. All right, you too.
Have a great break too.
Yeah, you too. Enjoy.